Hello, Judith, Trisha, Michael, Thomas. I'm not going to be able to do all of them. Jennifer, Michael, Timothy, Krista, Lanelle, Lisbeth, Prashant. I can't do all of you, but I'm going to do Elena, Yusuf, Muhammad, Zakaria. Let's see as we'll come in. Lotita, yes. Mickey, hello. We'll just give it a minute. Let's see. So as people come in, my name is Ami, and welcome all to this fourth Zoom we're doing this week. They've gone well, I think, and it's lovely to have you here. If you want, at the bottom you see there's a button for a chat, and you can use that to just say your name. I am Ami, and I am in New York. If you want to tell us where you are in the world, it's a lovely thing to see where everyone is calling from, because I think we're in many, many different places. And so again, we'll just give a minute to people to join us. In the meantime, as I said, please feel free to use the chat. Jennifer from New Mexico, and oh my God, here we go. Boston, Egypt, USA, Chicago, Virginia, Zambia, Denmark, India. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Fantastic to see the magic of the internet and the magic of video. Buenos dias, Mexico. Hello, Nepal. Okay, wonderful. So as you do that, a couple of things. One, just logistics. We will stay for about an hour. If people need to leave earlier, don't worry about it. But the idea is that this will go about an hour. At the bottom of your screen, those of you who have used Zoom or not, you have this chat that we're using for saying hello or responding to certain things. On the right, you'll see another button that says Q&A. When we open for questions, please use that one for questions. Otherwise, your questions might get lost in the chat. Okay, there's going to be lots of stuff in the chat. And so when we open for questions, please, if you see the button that says Q&A with a question mark, use that one for questions, okay? Let me see. What else can I say? It's funny. It's 10 a.m. in New York, but I can't really say good morning because for some of you it's good evening or actually midnight. So good day, good evening. Welcome all. It's good to see you. I think, as I said in my email to you, we've been sort of literally waiting for this moment for a long time. I've been hoping and waiting literally for this moment to happen for more years than I want to think. So thank you all for being here, and we'll see what we can all do together. What's going to happen today is I will, for a few minutes now, I'm going to then also share my screen with you. Wait, I'm trying to get my cursor back. Here it is. I'm going to share my screen for a bit, and then we'll come back and open for questions and conversation. And at that point, we will open the mic to people who may want to add something or say something. Right now, your mics are all closed. Your microphones are closed because in case, cars go by, there's noise in the room. There's just so many of us right now. There's more than 100 people here already. And so we close the mics just out of respect to everyone. Paula, good morning. It is good to see you. Paula has been a huge supporter for a long time, and it's nice to suddenly see familiar faces. I know it's a little bit strange to join a Zoom call where you basically don't know anyone. I think usually we either go to webinars where we see the speaker and we don't see anyone, or we go to a Zoom meeting where we know the people in the meeting. We tend to know people in the meeting. This is a little bit different. I think most of you probably don't know anyone that you're seeing on the call, and that is, I think, in some ways wonderful. We much prefer this to a webinar kind of thing where you get to see me and maybe one other person. It's lovely to see all of you, and for all of you, I think, to see each other. And then later we'll have some time for opening this up as well and actually hearing your voices. So why are we here? So basically, I sent you an email that said that we were looking for 1,000 people to do something cool together. Almost 8,000 people go back to us, which is a fantastic start. I see it just as a start. We can go from there, but at least we seem to be making sense to at least a few other crazy people out there, which is wonderful to know that you're all there and that we're not alone in this. I am assuming that if you're here, you read that email. Some of you also watched the video that I was linking to. But in any case, let me just take 2 minutes to sort of be on the same page about what we're doing here. The idea, I think, is that all of us share, I think, a very strong desire to see a better world, a better community, a better street, a better town, a better neighborhood. I said bitter, no, not bitter, a better world all around us. And I think to some degree, all of us feel that that's possible. In fact, I think we know it's possible. And I'll just tell you two quick things why I think that all of us know it's possible. We know it's possible for two, I think, simple reasons. One is that in our lives, we have all seen one street, one school, one city get better, right? You've all seen that in your lives. One house rebuilt. And if one street can get better, then of course many streets can get better. If one city can get better, then any city can get better. Humans can do this. I think the other thing that we all know is that I think most of us have been lucky at some point in our lives to be with a group of people doing like one wonderful thing together, just unleashed to do something wonderful. And we know what that feels like. We know that's possible to do something amazing together, even just for a moment. If you put those two things together, of course, things could be better all around us day by day. They'll never be perfect. Every solution will bring new problems, but of course, things can be better all the time. And the question is then, how do we do this? How do we get there? As I said on that video, and just to sort of allude to that, the real problem is what can we all agree on? There are people just on this call from many, many countries, many religions, probably several or many political points of view. But when people agree on something, we can unleash incredible energy. And so we're proposing a couple of very simple things. One, an agreement on some really universal values that many, many people share. More freedom, more dignity for more people in a spirit of generosity and respect, more joy, more hope, more peace, all these things that I think so many of us want. And to get there, to get the conversation going, to get the action going, agreeing that once a month on these days that work all over the world, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, it's this cute thing that we saw a few years ago, suddenly realized these days work everywhere. Why not just grab them and say, as a sort of marketing, as an easy way to remember and to talk about? Once a month, let's use these days to do things. But even more importantly, it's not so much that it's a day of service, it's a day to spark and celebrate action around us, right? So it's not a question of doing things once a month and then resting for 29 days. It's really once a month, let's spark what can happen the rest of the months. Once a month, let's celebrate what happened the previous month. Let's have a rhythm where once a month, it's more than okay to invite a neighbor and say, hey, it's time that we finally meet, or for a mayor to close the streets and say, let's go play outside, or for a school to say, come talk to our children, and for a workplace to say, we're closing today, so you can go talk to the children, etc. And it's just helpful for it to happen month after month around the world at the same day. That will just generate many, many more ideas. So that's the basic idea. That's hopefully sort of part of what brought you here, those values and the idea of what can we do. And the reason why I'm so optimistic that this is all possible is because I know that each of us is perfectly able to do one good thing once a month. And if we add it all up and to propose and to invite people, we all have amazing tools now. We have this incredible thing that allows us to invite anyone we want to anything. We have the ability to see each other on video. I've been doing this for so long now, and I'm so damn old that I remember, a world without any of this. And so this is all a miracle. I moved to New York in 1992. I came here, and if you met someone, anyone, anywhere, and you wanted to be in touch, you could exchange your phone number, your landline, and then when you called, you got an answering machine or the person. And that, and plus writing a postcard, were the only two ways to be in touch with another human being. That sounds crazy now. That was the world that I think many of us, looking at your faces, many of us remember. Looking at other faces, that sounds like a fairy tale. But yes, there used to be a time when your mother couldn't find you. Imagine that. She had no idea where you were. And so that was a world that I think many of us grew up in. Today, I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at this thing that to me is a miracle. How can people in 50 different countries be together on one call? We can do so much with it. I think we've barely scratched the surface around the world of what's possible with all of this. Good morning, Liz Nellis. So this is why we convened you. I want to say a couple of quick things and then share my screen. The couple of quick things, one, two sort of expectation setting things, just like, lay a bit of the land. We'll be in touch, all of us, whoever wants to be in touch, in the various different ways. So far, we only started, a week ago. We emailed you. There'll be more on the web, on our site, on Idealist. There'll be more email as often as you guys want it. We're going to use LinkedIn. Many of you have already found me there, and some of you are still, there. We can use that. About 85%, amazingly enough, 85% of the people who filled out the form gave us their phone number, which is just to me an astonishing level of trust, which we will not betray. But we can set up a WhatsApp group to be able to at least broadcast messages to people using the phone. We'll do that. We'll use Facebook if people want that. We'll use Discord, Slack, whatever tools that people want to use to basically find you where you are as little, as often, or as seldom as you would like. So we'll be in touch in multiple ways. And we're also the biggest challenge that we have now, which we'd like to solve pretty much next week if possible, is the challenge of connecting you locally with each other. So if 10 people in Seattle or 10 people in Nairobi would love to connect, unfortunately, we can't just take 8,000 emails and give them to all of you and let you find each other. That's not going to work. It's going to upset lots of people. But we're going to start launching local groups and setting up local meetups so that those of you who want to connect with each other can connect with each other. Last sort of expectation setting thing is that this is a big idea, but we're not a huge organization. We ourselves are, a nonprofit in New York. And so there's some things that we can do. We can get us together. We can support this work in many, many different ways. There are 3 or 4 things that we can't do. I've gotten some emails from people. I understand the desire, but I've gotten some emails from people asking for a job, asking for a visa to the US or for a flight, to come here, asking for financial assistance. And these are things I just want to say at once that we simply can't do. I wish, with all my heart, that we could hire all of you, that we could all meet together tomorrow here in person, that we would all be, but we just cannot do that. I personally, and Idealist as a whole, can't simply send out, visas, jobs, etc. The jobs that we know about are on the site, but here we can't do that. I hope that sort of makes sense to people. I know there are different levels of need all over the world, but we simply, at a personal level, we just can't do that. I wish we were the State Department, but we're not. I wish we were the State Department just to do things better, but we're not. So having said that, I'm going to share my screen in 1 second. I hope this is all making sense so far. You can hear me, you can understand me. It's good. People are saying hello on the chat. If I'm talking quickly, just stop me. So, thinking a lot about how we start this whole thing at scale, because in the last few years, we've been experimenting with doing all kinds of things once a month in different places. We had a group on Facebook. We did some stuff in New York. And we realized that to start this at scale, the way that we're trying to do now, and to really make a difference, 2 things came up. One was that when you're trying to do something like this monthly, every month, if you want to start, the next moment is 2 or 3 weeks away, and you can't really plan and do something bigger. So we said very arbitrarily, let's pick a date 3 months out. So 5/5. It's also neither winter nor very hot summer anywhere in the world. It's sort of nice weather everywhere. Late spring, late fall, all over the world. So start with 5/5. Easy number to remember. Not the summer yet, but give people 2 or 3 months to get organized, to plan, to digest, and also especially with institutions, nonprofits, organizations, cities, companies, they need some time, right? You need to go to your boss and say, hey, it'd be lovely to have a coffee at the company on 5/5. And the boss says, let me talk to my boss, let me get back to you. So it's nice to have a couple of months to basically plan ahead. So one was the idea of just putting it out a little bit. And the second was thinking, yes, anyone, anywhere could do something wonderful that day. There are many, many possible ideas. It turned out that many people wanted to at least be given a spark, a place to start, a starting idea. And so we thought, what if we start the morning as every day starts with the morning. Most mornings start with some kind of breakfast, coffee, tea, whatever. And so we came up with this idea of a default, what we're calling a global community breakfast on 5/5. Let's start the day together in whatever we want. Now, the moment that we said it, we immediately added sort of 2 caveats to it, or two ways to make it more expansive. One is the idea that everything counts. So I'll show you in a second. On sort of a bigger side, in New York, when we said, let's do this, we thought, in the office, my colleague Matthew, who's here somewhere, and I were thinking, we said, if we're going to ask people around the world to do something that day, we should do something too. What we do? And so we said, my whole life, I've been wanting to cross the Brooklyn Bridge at sunrise. What does the city look when the sun is rising? Let's do that. And so we basically set up a thing, which I'll show you in a second, where at 6 a.m. on 5/5, we'll gather on the Brooklyn side and we'll cross the bridge and then have some coffee and tea and stuff on this side, and then start the day and do more things. But one big symbolic walk with however many hundreds of people want to come and cross the bridge together. So that's one side of what this could be. When I say, it can be anything counts. The other side, all the way, imagine someone that has a very busy morning or lives in a repressive regime or any other reason, and all they can do is post a photo online of their hand holding a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and saying, good morning, happy, Idealist Day, happy Global Breakfast Day, I am here. And all you can see is their hand, you can see a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and they're participating too. And so essentially anyone, anywhere that simply has a phone and that can post a photo and share it with all of us can participate. So that was one thing. Everything counts. Nothing is too big. Nothing is too small. And the second thing is, there's this expression here that we're a 24-hour diner. It's going to be a 24-hour restaurant. If breakfast doesn't work in the morning, breakfast in the afternoon is fine too. In other words, any time of the day is fine. No worries. But just this anchor of thinking about this as a beginning, and then we can go from there. Last thing about that day, and then I'll share my screen, is that we will be here all day. So what you're seeing here online now, this kind of Zoom call that can also go on YouTube, this will be here all 24 hours. So imagine, instead of the faces you're seeing here now, imagine people taking out their phone or a computer in hundreds of events around the world throughout the 24 hours. And you'll see this mosaic everywhere of people, cleaning a beach or visiting a senior center or having a walk or walking across a bridge or, painting a mural. And you'll see the whole thing happening at the same time throughout the day so that more can happen in the future. Okay, this is all entirely possible. None of this is magic. We can absolutely make this happen if we want. Okay, so now I'm seeing many of you are using the chat right now to share WhatsApp numbers and to share, LinkedIn numbers. That's exactly the challenge. Don't worry about it. You can do it right now. We will get you together over the next week or two in a way that will be much more organized, so all of you can match up. Okay, so let me share my screen for 1 second, and then we'll go from there. Share. Boom. Am I sharing? Can you see this? Yes, no, okay. Show meeting so I can see your faces. Sip of water, 1 second. Okay, so it's going to be a very short presentation, and then we'll open up for questions. I'm seeing there's already one question there. Let me see if that question I can even answer before we start. You drew about 10:30, unfortunately. No worries. I will say a lot before 10:30. So imagine 5/5. So as I said, a couple of things. Let me just make sure my cursor is there. Cursor, where are you? No, you're not there. 1 second. Okay. Boom. Okay. So quick summary. We're directing all of our energies, if we can, towards this moment and thinking of something that would work everywhere that does two things at the same time. We strengthen local connections. We nurture local connections. We get people together locally. And we also see and show and celebrate our shared humanity everywhere. One of the things that's happening on the world right now that is really not nice, to put it mildly, is that many of us are taught that across some line, there are these other people somewhere in the world, in another neighborhood, another country, that are basically not like us. They're worse than us. We're the good ones. They're the bad ones. People are taught this everywhere to show that all over the world, they're absolutely amazing people that will come out and do wonderful things, and the human beings everywhere are generous and kind and giving would be wonderful. So to show that would be great. And then for something that is both easy and beautiful. So the first thing, as I said, came up with this idea that we're calling this global community breakfast. Some of you, when you signed up, at least about half of you, I think, landed on this page and clicked on the registration link there. It's a very simple thing. One reason that we chose this system, it's called Luma, we're using it, is that it's so easy. You see a link that says, sign up, you give your email and your name, and that's it, you're there. And then the organizer can email you, can be in touch with you. We're going to use this as a tool for these events if you want. It is free. We're going to just show you how to use it. It's a tool. We have no relationship with them. We just think it's a good tool. It is free. It's beautiful. You can use it to basically email all attendees, and it's simply luma.com. This event here, which I think Matthew is probably linking to in the chat, this is luma.com/Idealist Day 55. And all we're doing on this page is gathering the names and addresses of email addresses of people that would like to do this in some way to show the interest. You can see that there are over 3,600 people already there to show, in fact, that there's interest in this. And now we're going to sort of break up into multiple events. We're probably going to leave this one here all the way to the end as a place to have a link to the Zoom that will be here for 24 hours. But the idea is to do stuff locally and put it on a calendar, which I'll show you in a second. The photo that you can see this there is sort of showing the idea that everything that anything is enough. A photo like that would be more than enough. These happen to be, I think my wife is okay if I say this. This happened to be my daughters, my wife, and my mother-in-law in Spain, and back in the summer saying hello to me because I was here. But this again showing how something as simple as this can show people around the world, or it can be as big as this. Let's walk across the Brooklyn Bridge together, starting that day at 6. And this is, again, just an example of what it can be, all the way from this to that. We haven't really promoted this yet in New York. We just told a few friends. There's already 160 signups. I think we'll end up with several hundred people. People will sign up. Then who wants to get up at 5 that morning? I think will depend on the weather and many other things. But I think we'll have several hundred people that want to walk across the bridge together and begin that day together. So it can be as big as this or as small as that. There'll be many more coming. Only a couple slides more where I deliberately want to just share with you some ideas for what this could look like. Because at first, like I said, we said breakfast, and we said it could be 24 hours a day. It can be breakfast and breakfast or breakfast plus many other things. So to give you a taste, and the idea here as I go through this, and then we'll send you the whole list, and you can also add many more, is to give you a sense that at least one of these should tickle your imagination. And you could say, I can see myself doing one of those things, if not 2 or 3 or 4 of them, okay? So let me go through them quickly, and then we'll open this for conversation. So the first sort of obvious, and when people, I think of global community breakfast, the idea simply of meeting with some new or longtime neighbors where you live, inviting people for whatever it is that you drink or eat in the morning. It can be many different things. Friends have made this thing for us. You're invited, and here's this bagel. It can be many different things, but invite people. Use an excuse to meet people that you have been wishing to meet for a long time and haven't met yet, or to celebrate with those who you do already. One of the things that we know, looking at you, looking at your face around the world, is there are places around the world where people don't know their neighbors. I will confess, I live in a building with 6 or 7 apartments in Brooklyn, and I know one of the people there. I have no idea who the others are. And also, I can see your faces on this call here. There are people here who think it's insane that you don't know your neighbors. What do you mean you don't know your neighbors? How is life possible without knowing your neighbors? How is that even physically possible, right? Of course you know your neighbors. So there's all of that, and that's okay. We can learn from each other. Professionally, on the second bullet there are groups of people in every city in the world, every town, that share a professional affiliation and that meet once in a while. There are also many groups that have never met and should meet. And one of them, in a sense, is waiting for the invitation and for an excuse to tell the other 20, hey, it's time we got together. Let's all get together. And so this is happening around the world right now. I'm not the only crazy one. I think that all the dentists in our city should have breakfast one day, or all the whatever should get together one day. It's time. Let's do it. And we can start something monthly after that if you all want. But I'm going to invite you because it's happening everywhere. And suddenly there is an impetus, there's a prompt, an excuse to do something that maybe someone's been wanting to do for a long time. Invite a speaker if you want. Why not? Again, Any of these can be combined, yes or no, it doesn't really matter. Use that excuse, that day, that prompt, the social permission to start something new that you've been wanting to start for a while, a neighborhood association, a giving circle, people get together, give a bit of money and then donate it to a cause, any kind of local group that you've wanted to do for a while. Celebrate or honor someone. I love this. We have a doorman in this building that we work in New York. It's an office building, and there's a man who opens the elevator, and he is just absolutely wonderful. And so call him up one day, have him come out of the door of the elevator, and have the whole staff stand outside and clap because he deserves that kind of recognition. I think all of us work in institutions, in neighborhoods, in places where there's this one or two people who should be thanked more than they are. They sort of keep the place going. And so use that day to simply thank them, honor them. It could be an online group that you're all part of and actually has never taken the time to truly thank the founder or the moderator and say, thank you for keeping us here. Well, then let's do it that day. Different kind of thing entirely. If you run a nonprofit, you run an organization, use that day to have, what you can call an open house. Invite people to come to your place and see what you do. Donors, volunteers, passersby, whatever. You can just literally open the doors or put yourself again on this calendar that'll show you and say that day, come see us. It could take different forms. I would love to see, for example, museums. This has happened in different places, but to happen more and more, have museums, for example, we'll say open all night that day. Why not? We'll stay open all night and come visit us. And once in a while, we can be open all night because it'd be fun. Some people have the personality. My colleague Matthew, who's going to say a few words later, he loves this idea of just putting a table in the street, putting a drink, and just talking to people about what it is that they're concerned about, what is bothering them, what can they do, and invite them to participate. So literally put a table outside if your place in the world lends itself to that. Invite people at work, in a neighborhood, to have a brainstorming session. You take little notes, you put them on the wall with a good question. What would you like to do? What is on your mind? What could we do together? What's bothering you? And that can lead to planning a bigger project together. Changing again, subject, take a bunch of people, go for a walk, go for a tour, a hike, a bike ride, whatever it is. And then, of course, eat something before, after, celebrate together. The same thing with yoga, dance, music. Go visit a senior center where older people live and simply have breakfast with them and make their day that day by having younger people or different people come in and eat with them. Go to school, talk to the kids, actually serve at a shelter or soup kitchen, serve breakfast that day to somebody else. And again, different kind of thing. Go clean or build a street, a park, plant some trees, paint a mural, all these things. I got an email on Monday from a gentleman in a village in Nigeria that lives in the north, and the Sahara is coming down and sort of the desert is growing. He wants to take all the people in his village that day and go plant trees to protect the village from the desert. So that can be done. Games, we'll talk more in a second about having fun. Simply raise money for something you care about. And then, lastly, if whatever it is that you do, wherever you are, if you can help just one person who for a long time has been wanting to do one thing, and that day starts doing it, that would be an amazing achievement. That already would be worth all of this. For one person to take one step and do something good. And then whatever you do, please take a photo so we can all share it and so do more with it. So let's do it. I'm going to stop sharing for a second, say a couple words more, and then encourage you now, because you've been, I think, listening. If you have any question about any of this, please go to the Q&A at the bottom and put your question there. If there's any question whatsoever. In the meantime, I'll say a few other things. One is, how will we all know this is happening? Again, I think Matthew's going to share in the chat. If you simply go to luma.com/idealist, you'll see a view that is like a calendar view. And the way that Luma works is that if you create an event anywhere, you can then submit it to this calendar. You just click, and it all becomes part of one big calendar. So what's going to happen is we'll end up with a calendar of events around the world, also on a map. People can find them by searching. They can find them by looking. They can find a dot on the map. And all of us basically are promoting all of our events together by sending everyone to one place. People will end up coming to all of us. Like I said, this can be many things in many places. there are three things I think that we're going to ask everyone to do in every event, if possible. Three very simple things, I think pretty obvious things. One is before or the event or when your activity starts, please tell everyone what is going on. In other words, if you invite 10 friends to basically have breakfast with you and you're sharing breakfast with them, and it's wonderful, don't forget to tell them that it's part of something bigger, that something big is happening around the world that day. And yes, it's wonderful you all came to my garden and we're finally meeting. Tell them this is actually happening right now in 1,000 places around the world. Look at the screen and see all these wonderful people everywhere. And we hope to see you again in 6/6 in some fashion. So one is to just tell people what's going on, either as part of your invitation or with a QR code or with a link or when you speak to them. It sounds fairly obvious. You can imagine someone forgetting to actually tell people that something bigger is happening that day and it is part of something bigger. So that's one. Two, at the end, we'll ask everyone to just somewhat, report on how it went back. It happened. I did it. Here's a photo. Here's who showed up. Here's what they said. So some kind of reporting so we can all together, and we'll share that with everyone so we can all learn and do it better. And then in the middle, at some point, to ask people to take out their phones and take a photo and invite those around them through their social media to all join us again locally on 6/6 and 7/7, and let's do even more, right? So you have 10 groups meeting somewhere around, I don't know, Nairobi or Cleveland. It'd be wonderful if the following month more of us did this. To do that, one of the best ways is for everyone participating to invite everyone they know to do even more. So that's what that day hopefully looks like. Like I said, we'll be here online all day. If anyone misses it, we'll do it again on 6/6. Lots and lots of ideas and examples will come up that we haven't thought of. Yesterday, there was a man from Nepal who came in and who said that on 5/5, he wants to walk 55 kilometers across the Himalayas where he is to let people know about what's going on. And I'm like, okay, great. That sounds like a long walk to me, but go for it. 5/5 on 5/5, all yours. People are doing interesting things on LinkedIn. There's social media we can do. And one reason why I'm so optimistic about this is that in the last, 10, 20, 30 years, so many of us, so many of you have been involved in so many kinds of campaigns, right? Election campaigns, grassroots campaigns, local campaigns. And all of us have learned so much about how to do it, about what works, about what doesn't work. The cumulative knowledge that we have is sort of insane. And so by drawing on that from all of you, from all of us, there's just so much that we can do and bringing that basic knowledge to places that maybe don't have it yet, or to people who don't have it yet, from those who have it already. So the thing now is to start. Let me look for a second at the Q&A, and then I will thankfully stop talking. Why don't we join the WhatsApp group, says Mike. So this is next week, the priority this week were these calls that we're doing right now. We only emailed most of you on Thursday and Friday. This week, we set up these 7 calls beginning on Monday and ending Tuesday and ending tomorrow. The big priority for next week is this thing of coming together, WhatsApp, etc. So that's coming next week. Luma Calendar handle 1,000 events that are likely to happen, says Bill. Yes, they can handle many events, Bill. And sorry, let me read it more slowly. Can Luma Calendar handle 1,000 events that are likely to happen? It can. We're also talking to them. We think there are going to be better ways of doing that, meaning a global calendar could be okay. It might be useful to have country calendars, maybe in the end, even city calendars, whatever it takes to make the event easy to find. So we'll see what it takes. We start. One thing they've done, which is really nice, is that the same event could be submitted to multiple calendars. So you could have a calendar that is, one for the world, one for Cleveland, maybe even by theme, but we will make it sort of easy to find. If you want to sign up for breakfast for 5, will those ideas be there? Yes. So again, several priorities for next week. One is getting all of us together locally. The second is at the Idealist website. Right now, what happened was that I sent you that email with the video, the form, and then these Zooms. If someone right now goes to idealist.org, literally, they see none of this. And so this is all going to come to the front of Idealist, sign up here, come to the next calls here, join a WhatsApp group here, sign up for the breakfast here. It's all going to be there. Materials to talk that we can provide our friends and groups with, says Judith. Yes. So again, this is all partly we're going to create this together. now that we know this is happening. There was also, I'm being completely sort of honest with you, when we sent the email out on Thursday, I had no idea who would respond, how many would respond. Now it's very real. And now you all have requests and questions and demands. And obviously, we have to make material together. Some of this stuff is going to happen quickly with all of us. Larger promotional, let's see, strategies for, sorry, I believe all people of this should be given priority. Yes. Sorry, drop people from outside the Idealist ecosystem. Yes. And so, sorry, let me read this. What are the larger promotional press strategies for this project to perhaps inspire, draw people from outside the Idealist ecosystem? Seems like a collective movement to resolve the global socialist connection crisis. Yes, let me repeat that. A global movement to resolve the global social disconnection crisis. Exactly. That's what we're trying to do, among other things. To answer the question about what we're going to do to promote it. So what's happened so far is that one email has gone out to the individuals that use Idealist. If you think for a second, we at Idealist divide all of you, if you like, into two groups. Those who come to us as individuals looking for things, and those who are with us because they run an organization, right? We call them the admins of the organizations. So far, we emailed the individuals. We haven't even told the admins yet that this is going on. We wanted to go to them first, to you first, and then come to them and say, we're not crazy. 10,000 people want to do this. And now your nonprofit should get involved. So we're going to go to these 200,000 nonprofits that we have on the site. Some, are asleep, some are not. But if 1,000 nonprofits get up and tell their people and start organizing things that day that they can do to sort of just use this as a way to highlight themselves, it would be wonderful. That's one. Second, we're beginning to talk to people outside this whole thing, right? So yesterday, I got an email from someone who is a nurse in Yemen, but also he is passionate about organizing what he calls the 28 million nurses in the world. And he, I think, is right that nurses are one of the most respected professions. They're caregivers, they're team players. And he feels that the nurses of the world would be ideal partners for this kind of global event, global breakfast. So he wants to get all the nurses involved. And I was like, yeah, go get them. So there's lots of that going on. We'll use social media. And again, each of you has already in your lives so many contacts. It'll be up to you. All we're going to ask you today is, wait for us for the next couple of days to begin connecting you locally and update all of this. I am going to ask you for two things as we move forward. One is obvious, I think, is to imagine yourself on 5/5, wherever you are in the world. What could you do that would feel comfortable, meaningful, joyful, easy to you? Will help you coordinate. As I said, to take this example that we took here, if in your city there's a big bridge, we don't want 6 different people organizing 6 events on the bridge. You should find each other and do one big one. So that's the challenge for the next week or two. And second thing I'm going to ask you is think of 1 or 2 or 3 friends. Yes, of course, you can share something on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter. It's better, I think, for everyone if you think of 1 or 2 or 3 people that you know that would thank you for inviting them to this. That would be like, yeah, that's actually, thank you for thinking of me. This is wonderful. I want to be part of it too. And so literally inviting 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 people that you think of would be useful. So we'll put everything on the homepage. We'll let you know. At that point, you can simply send people there. We're going to continue doing Zooms almost every day. We'll set them up probably at different hours so that you can either attend or watch a recording, but at least once a week, we want to be easily live at different points in the world. So we'll do it mornings, evenings, nights. So at least once a week, you can actually join us live, or you can watch a recording. And so that's how we'll keep the whole thing going. Most importantly is to now get you online with each other so it doesn't have to go through us. And so I can be quiet. Let me see. No questions. Sincere thank you. Thank you so much for the thank you. I really appreciate it. Somebody else, materials to help us find people. Yes, this is the whole thing. I mean, basically, over the next week or two, we're going to together create materials that you can share, whether it's printed, spoken, an email, anything you need. In the end, the best thing of all is whatever comes from your heart. You know how when you watch a good movie or you read a good book, you just tell a friend, "I just watched the most amazing movie. You should go watch it too." That kind of thing ends up being the best as long as you can send people somewhere. I think I've said most of what I wanted to say, I think, and if not, you'll remind me. But let me see. I can stop here for a second. And if people want to, let's see, Matthew, go for it.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to kind of give a safety note because our community is amazing and wonderful, but also sometimes bad actors sneak in. And I just want to throw it out there that if people are making WhatsApp chats or you're joining a WhatsApp chat, just know to be aware of anything like that that's going on. We're going to be organizing people and sending follow-ups, and we'll have more of a global way of connecting with people. So if there's anybody that's interested in joining anything or being a part of stuff, we're going to send out emails and we'll be sending out different things to help you connect with each other. We don't want to discourage that connection, but also keep your wits about you. The world is an interesting place right now, and there's lots of bots and scammers and different people that might be looking to not be doing good in the way that all of you have shown up to do. So yeah, just be aware of that as you join and talk to each other and connect.
Wow. Okay. On that note, no, I guess yes. So basically, we know who we are, and we're inviting you, and we think we're trustworthy. But obviously, we invited everyone from everywhere, and so we'll need to also just watch and make sure that we're all take care of each other. But you can definitely trust. I hope anything that we sent you. I mean, you're here, and we'll keep doing this. So I actually want to open with somebody here says I want to open on a very I think this is being recorded. Someone says yes, it's being recorded, and basically if you go later whenever you want to YouTube/Idealist and you click on live there, you're going to see the recording of every one of these this week, and you can share it with anyone. Pick the one that you want and share it with somebody else. So yes, you can be both a CEO and an organization. Okay, no question, but a sincere thank you for sharing this energy, enthusiasm, and vision. This is truly great. On that note, I'm going to open this up for any comments or questions. Please, one really important thing I think that last thing I'll say is that for this to work, I think it's really important for us to be focused. There are many, many people here from many places, like I said, many countries, many religions, many problems, an infinite number of issues and problems and controversies and things to resolve. And if we start getting sidetracked about any of those things that are happening specifically where we are, we simply won't come out of this. It's really important to focus on sort of one thing now, which is one wonderful global mosaic on 5-5, showing our humanity, showing what we can do, having fun together. Oh, yes, the word fun. Sorry, I keep reminding things. I promise this will be the last one. If we want for this to last and for this to go month after month and build into something wonderful, there has to be an element of fun in this. It cannot be just something gray. Let's get together to solve the world's problems, or it's a terrible place and we'll all just cry together once a month. That's not going to work. Things are bad in the world. In some places, we have to fix them. People need to feel that, oh, 7/7 is coming, 8/8 is coming. That is wonderful. And not, oh my God, that day of the month is coming again, where I have to hide from people asking me to do things that I don't want to do. We don't want that. We want this day is coming where wonderful things will happen. And so, yes, you want to go and actually paint a mural, plant a tree, help a child, think of how you solve a problem. We also want to do things that are literally just because they feel good. So crossing the Brooklyn Bridge that morning is not going to resolve poverty in New York, but it will feel great to those who do it. It will feel like a nice thing to do. It will bring a smile to our faces, and we'll go from there. And so combining things that are literally problem solving with things that are just fun. Who wants to go at 3 a.m. to ride a bike across the city because it's a nice thing to do? Let's just do it, or play a game, or do something around the world at the same time, because it will be just cool to do something at the same time that feels good. That whimsy is really, really important. Smiling is important. And so, yes, so just the element of fun, I think, is really important. So on that note, who is the least shy person here? I don't know if I want to pick on Liz Nellis or not. I'm like, there are some people I know, and she's like, Liz, I'm going to pick on you. Lead us. Say something, Liz Nellis from Brooklyn. Do you see her, Matthew? She has glasses. She's smiling. She's waving. Liz, can you raise your hand on Zoom?
Hi, I'm here. Wait, say something, ideas brewing based on this great conversation.
Whatever you want. Say hello. Whatever you want.
I'm really excited to have a date in mind that I can use every month. I think I'm gonna gather folks in my neighborhood for lunch. A lot of folks work from home, so it'll be a chance to gather with people. And I'm just gonna bring the question, like, what is one thing you want to do in our neighborhood? and we can all brainstorm ideas on how to tackle that challenge. So I'm really excited just about to have that date in mind every month. But so glad to be here. It's so nice to see all these faces.
I love that. As the next person, sort of raise your hand on Zoom. You have this place on Zoom that you can raise your hand. But someone just wrote in the Q&A, I love this. Siggy just said, just an official count based on the chat. People from 26 countries joined in the first 15 minutes. Yes, US, Nigeria, and Kenya were the most represented. I have to tell you, wherever you are, that so far Nigeria and Kenya are the two countries that are leading this whole thing. Nairobi and Lagos are the two most popular cities that we have, which I love, and we will go from there. Indigo, go for it. Wait.
There we
Indigo.
go. I'm unmuted. Yeah, so I'm still brewing ideas, but one idea that came to me while Liz was talking about that, I have a really tight neighborhood. We already have like a lot of organization, but there are just these certain people that are always say, and you know this person, and they're like, oh, I don't know that person. I'm like, how do you not know? And I want to get together all the people that I know and adore, who I know don't know each other, and try to get them to all come to like a little brunch or something. So.
Indigo, that's a lovely idea. Let me just say one thing about that, which I think is important for all of us to keep in mind, at least for me. We can all do whatever we want. I think this may sound weird, but let me say it because I think it's important. I think every person in the world, literally every person in the world, deserves to be invited at least once. We're not taking anyone's past, anyone's current, whatever. One way of thinking about this is like literally going down a block somewhere in the world and knocking on every door to invite people to come do something wonderful, regardless of the stickers on that door. You know what I'm talking about? Some people have stickers on their door that mean many things. I'm going to knock on your door once, and regardless of the sticker on your door that you may have put once in your life for some reason, I'm going to say, look, we're doing something good together. Come join us in kindness and in respect and generosity. Let's build something good together. So I think we invite people, everyone deserves to be invited at least once. At the same time, I think, and this might sound strange coming from someone organizing the whole thing, I think people also have the right to be left alone. I think the right not to participate is a really important right, actually. I think that if people in whatever country, in whatever community, pay their taxes, don't bother anyone, don't do anything illegal, but all they want to do is stay at home and read poetry or go out on their bike, that is perfectly fine. There's no judgment. So I think inviting people once or twice is great. Also, leaving people alone is great. There's something in the world of volunteering, there's this funny thing where imagine someone, I'm just inventing someone who basically is a nurse. She works in the hospital, 50 hours a week, taking care of people, and then has a couple of kids at home. And 50 hours a week, she is saving lives and taking care of people. Or someone else who's researching cancer, 60 hours a week and taking care of their family. And then, oh my God, they don't volunteer. Like, leave her alone. She's raising a family and taking care of people in the hospital for 50 hours. She is fine. And so I think there's something about, yes, inviting everyone at least once and making everyone feel welcome, and also leaving people alone. It's if you don't want to know your neighbors. In New York, there are people who have moved here because they grew up in a small town. And one of the reasons they moved to New York is they don't want to know their neighbors. And I think it's important to acknowledge that and respect that when that comes up. That is okay. That is also human. It's part of being human. So Indigo, go for it, and let's see who shows up and let us know what happens. Catherine.
Okay, wow. I'm really delighted to be here. I just immediately said, I need to be involved. I said yes before I even knew what it was. Two things. I'm in New York City. I've already reached out to you, Liz. I belong to a community. It's called the Beloved Community. It does exactly what you're talking about. It's absolutely been going for 12 years. If anybody wants to reach out to me, I can give you the details of this. It's a very, very, very organic meetup. And the intention is beautiful, to drink tea together, to share the tea, just to connect artists, business people, homeless. There's so much variety in that group. The second thing is we're starting a little project called Project Joy. It's so low impact, but it's actually the energy of joy for people who actually need it. It's very small communities and sending daily intention, and it works. Anybody wants to contact me more about that, I can give you all the details on how to do it. All you need to do is the will. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. I think I can speak for all of us to say that without accent, you can just keep speaking all day. We'll all just listen to reading the phone book, and that is fine. This thing about one daily action or one daily intention, or a very simple thing, because again, this image, I think, in our mind of someone who, imagine someone who basically is 80 years old, is in bed basically most of the time, is bedridden for whatever reason, and yet wants to help, right, in some way. Imagine, and again, this takes some doing and safety and all of that, doesn't matter. Imagine if that person gets a photo every morning from a young girl who is 15 or 16, anywhere in the world, and says, "Good morning, here's me this morning. How do I look?" And that older person in bed says, "You look gorgeous. Have a good day." And that is it. That is it. Basically, that young girl doesn't have a grandmother. That young girl doesn't have someone like that in her life. And the role that this person plays in 2 seconds is telling her that she looks wonderful that day, or that maybe a red coat will be better than the blue coat. Who knows, basically. But in 2 seconds, you can make someone's day. And there's so many examples like that. And so thank you for that. Tony, go for it. Where are you? Tony, you'll be there in a second. There you are.
I'm here with you. Good evening from there. Good morning from your end. Good day, everyone. My name is Tony from Nigeria, and I want to say that this idea is very wonderful. Like I went to a school sometime last year. I noticed that all the students in that school were learning underwater. Like the whole place was flooded, and they were sitting inside that water. I saw that love for learning, and I was passionate to helping them and a lot of other stuff. And what I want to say here is this is your idea. We should think more of promoting it and bringing just any other idea into the business. This is your idea. Everybody should support it, promote it in whichever way we can, and make it global. That's what I would say. Make it global. Make you available for everyone to know that this is what you're doing. Promote you in our little communities, in our little ways, words of mouth, cards, to communities, villages, town, and everywhere. Not just talking about us or promoting any other business in line with this. We should just focus on promoting you and what you're bringing in. That will make you go far and also make us know that we are with you. Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Tony. I do want to say one thing. This is really about promoting you and not promoting us or anybody else. One thing I think that we live in a world that is so uneven and so noisy in so many different ways. I don't know how many people on this call, and it's totally okay. This is not a judgment thing. I'm just asking. You know, Nigeria is a big country. I don't know how many people on this call know that in Nigeria there are 240 million people. Okay, not 10 or 20 or 100. There are 240 million people in Nigeria. And how often do we see Nigeria in the news? How often do we hear about Nigeria? How often do we hear about the wonderful work that's being done by so many people there? It's 240 million people. And if we can shine a light in some small way in what one person in one place is doing to bring, you know, more light and more hope to their life and their community, that will be wonderful. It's all of us, I think, highlighting and shining a line on each other. That will be fantastic. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to appreciate the US for taking Nigeria as priority. Now, you know, they are really helping Nigeria in so many ways.
Thank you.
With the crisis and killing of Christians, the US government is really taking it very serious and personal. They are really intervening. A lot of people are dying every day, and a lot of people are suffering too. Thank you to the US government and to you for bringing the opportunity to us.
Thank you.
We are
Mary,
grateful.
go for it. And then Mary, are you there? Mary Atieno? There you are.
Yes, I'm here. Good evening from Kenya. This is Mary. I'm in Nairobi, the city of Kenya. And I want to take this opportunity to appreciate you, Amy, for this brilliant idea. You have really been very thoughtful to be able to bring us together as one family. And this is no mean achievement. I believe this is going to move us to a very positive level together, a world that is big, but within a very small community of idealists, we are able to work together to be able to touch lives within the community. Away from doing whatever we are used to doing every day, if we are able to take one day in a month, we be able to touch the lives of people positively. And I believe that everyone else, and even those of us who are from Kenya, are we are looking forward to working together to move to the next levels. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary. On that note, I think I'm going to stop now before I start crying. So I will just want to do a couple of things. One is thank you all for being here. There are two last little things. We're going to do one that we did the last couple of days. So first, really, truly thank you. We'll be with you. Bear with us. We will make all this happen together. We're going to call on you for help in any way we can. My colleague Matthew, where is he? Matthew with the mustache. There you are. I said Matthew with the mustache. I have a young daughter who, there are two Matthews in the office. One is that one, and the other one is over here. Matthew, I don't know if you can raise your hand. They can see you. Other Matthew. And so my daughter has a distinction between Matthew without the mustache and Matthew with the mustache. So Matthew with the mustache is going to say something that he wants to do.
All right. At the end of our calls, we love seeing everyone's smiling faces so much. We love to do a group picture. So if you'd like to be a part of that, go ahead and turn your video on. Also, I wanted to let you know that there are some really fun reactions that you can do. So if you'd like to, you can there's a react button next to the share button down at the bottom bar, and you can do hearts and you can do smiley faces, and you can there's really fun things. You'll see them popping up on the left. You can do all sorts of fun things. So I'm gonna give people like 10 more seconds to turn your video on. I see everyone showing up and I love it. Great. All right. 5 more seconds to turn on your video. I see everybody doing it. All right, get your reactions ready. And we're gonna take our picture. And 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Okay, one last.
Thanks, everyone.
One last slightly crazy thing to end the day, to end the morning, to end the afternoon, whatever. Matthew, thanks so much for that. All of your mics were off. Now, Matthew's going to do something a little crazy. We're going to turn on all of your mics, and you could all say goodbye at the same time and actually hear your voices all over the world. So 1, 2, I don't know, Matthew, are we on?
Yeah, you have the option. You can unmute yourself now and say bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
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 Hey, everyone.
Bye.
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 Happy bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. 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 Bye.
What a conglomerate.
Bye. Bye.
A conglomerate.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, thank